But you good, bro. We ain't gonna never let you be all right like that. You good, brother. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Hustle Different Podcast, Part 2. And we are here with me. Y'all know I'm Gray, Dave, everybody light-skinned homie, the unofficial mayor of St. Louis. New moniker, the quarterback in the building. Got my man, Jay the historian in the building. My man Beans always on the scene. The coach coming in. It's rare that the coach come in late, but hey, the coach is here. The coach is here. Coach Ted. And look, y'all, we have a lovely young lady on here. She been be smiling this whole interview because she deserve it. She's out here in the mean streets. She been out here in the mean streets seeing some stuff that you probably see in your nightmares and maybe don't want to see. She's out here saving lives. She's out here helping people. She's out here mentally and I don't want it to sound crazy. I'm saying she's helping people mentally and physically.
She's saving lives.
Like I said, saving lives, y'all. I don't know how higher on the list you can get than saving lives. I don't think it's nothing above that. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole little thing here. Look, you ready to start talking? Go ahead. Give it up. Get it. Hey, y'all. Hey, listen. I do this at the show because I know these people already. So we're going to dig into it, y'all. This is Miss Laticha Green. She is, I don't really know how to say it. Like I said before, she got so many accolades across the board. She's done so much. It's really kind of hard to say it and then without the show being over. If I went down her list, the show would be over before we even get to ask her one question. So I'm just going to say accolades across the board, EMS, firefighter, CEO, real estate agent. I mean, and the list goes on. Super positive message for our young black women out here. You know, like I said, we advocate positivity towards our black women. A lot of people don't understand that. That's why I bring women like this on the show. She's not here for a viral video. She did not make a viral video. She's not here because, I hate to say it, but she wasn't twerking or nothing like, you know what I mean? She is here because she's made a difference in our city, in our state, across the board. I've known her since the late 80s. I ain't trying to tell her age. I've been knowing her since the late 80s, and we was cool. Like I said, we was straight cool. Like I said, it's crazy because we are from a couple of years. You know, like I said, I graduated in 90. You came out in 92, right? Yeah. I mean, and we was still so cool, and that's how tight-knit our school was. Oh, yeah. It wasn't even about grades in our school. It wasn't about what class you were in. We were a school. You saw that uniform, no matter if you was a freshman first day, senior last day. You family from beginning to the end. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
I'm saying. Right. So we had people that we went to school with that end up being, she said it right there. And then we had people that went to our school that ended up like this young lady sitting here. Like I said about Miss
HBCU.
Look, Miss Latanya Lott. Hey, she know Latanya. Look.
Yeah, look. Love her, respect her.
Look at that love. Hey, like I said, we are family. Literally. We was just at the HBCU homecoming game. We got into the homecoming game. Yeah, we went out there to her store. Yeah, it was raining, everything, but we showed love and got love shown, you know what I'm saying? Miss Laticha, she was commenting on every time Latanya had something, she was commenting like, go girl, this and that. So that's what I'm saying, support. Support, not just black people, black men, black women, everybody, you know what I'm saying? We need to support across the board. And black women supporting black women is probably a bigger thing because men, we don't expect the support. But a lot of times you would think that the women would expect that support. And she was showing mad support. You know what I'm saying?
For me, like, it's always about, I'm very conscious about what I post or what I put on there. There's been times I may type something, depends. Sometimes, you know, we get in that moment and you like, it's like.
Say, don't get sad. Don't get sad.
You can't take it back. Yeah. You can't take it back. Yeah. So my thing is just want to be a shadow, a positive shadow for not just young ladies, but for our men, for our people to see, whoever it reach, you know. So I'm very conscious about the things that I discuss.
All right. See your Steelers fan over there. Right, we ain't gonna go. Look, said don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I started it. I'm sorry. We'll go back to that. Cut it out. We'll go back.
Yeah. You had to know it's Sunday. Come on, man. Like you got me out the house.
Right.
They didn't win today.
Rain or whatever. I'm rolling my Steelers.
Yeah.
We lost today. Okay.
They lost in the rain.
But I'm loyal.
Oh, yeah. So, like I say, you know, we went to ROTC, so I don't have to hit her with the typical St. Louis question. She went to ROTC with me, alumni in the building.
Right.
You know, that's a typical St. Louis question. But
what's your name? What's your sign?
What's her name? What's her name?
What's your name? What's your sign? You call in.
Oh yeah. So what? Like I said, I'm gonna go right into it. You went to UMSL after that, correct?
After that, I actually went to Southwest Missouri State.
Okay. Like I said, I can only go back so far. I can only dig so deep.
Let me back
Let's
it
go.
up a
Let's
little
go.
bit.
Let's go.
You know, growing up North St. Louis my entire life,
Hood with it.
at ROTC,
Hood with it.
my parents were young parents. Okay, let's just. My mom or my dad don't have a college degree. They did the best they can. My dad was a street person. My mama she did the best as a young mom, and she worked. So for me, it was helping my mom stay afloat. So I had to be the mom, the big sister, the everything in home. So I didn't have anyone to sit me down and help with homework. I kind of watched, well, number one, let me back up. I had school teachers back then that cared so much. Like, there was disciplinary action came behind not having assignments turned in, or they cared if your homework was turned in. So I had to do it. But ROTC, what we was talking about, was a positive influence for me because I didn't have it at home because my mom was working. My dad, he didn't stay in the streets. He eventually became a firefighter and got his life going. So once that happened, he was 24 on, 24 off, and he and my mom were no longer together. So I had to watch my peers, what they did. Oh, you can take the ACT, you had to sign up? Okay, well, let me do it. You know, I always paid attention to people who were doing better than me. Even in high school, I had to see what was going on. So I thank those who Tweety Gwynns and people like that with the 4.3 GPA. I had to follow them to see what they were doing. A couple things I missed, but for the most part, I stayed afloat and, you know, not realizing that I wasn't prepared for a big university. You know, I probably should have started at a junior college, and my dad, he didn't pay attention. He just, Dad, I applied for this college, I got accepted, and, you know, they said it's $5,000 for the semester, and he said, here you go, drop me off, and I wasn't ready.
So you went to Southwest Missouri State.
I went there, wasn't ready.
Right.
I'm in this classroom with about 100 people, and I'm like, oh, feeling totally out of place.
Yeah.
There's a difference coming from that.
Oh my God!
You know that
Right,
and it was only me and one other person that looked like me, so it was challenging.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I felt out of place. I was scared, you know. So that happened, and I kept coming home because I missed home.
Yeah.
And ended up getting in a really bad car accident that could have took my life. And my dad said, "Well, if you stay home, I'll pay for you to go to any black university that you want to go to." Came home, that didn't happen. Kids started coming.
Gotcha.
Life started lifing for me early on. You know, this little north side girl just, you know,
Keeping it a
love.
buck. Keeping it a buck. Keeping it a buck. Yes, sir.
did,
Keeping it
you
a
know.
buck.
So at 19, I'm a mom, and you think about it. Back then, I was conditioned that at 18 I was grown. You know, there was 18, you grown, and this. I legit thought at 18 I was grown. Not knowing, I didn't know nothing. So here I am, can't wait to turn 18. Not even legal. I'm not even 21. Didn't even care about 21 where you can buy some alcohol.
Right.
You know, I just wanted to be 18 so I could be grown like I was told. Even when I had my daughter at 19, I mentally felt like, oh, at least I'm 19 when I had my daughter.
Right, because you was.
I was told I was grown at 18, so I'm thinking I did a step further.
Right,
And
you want to
I'm
look
19.
further. Right.
Like,
So you did it
you
better.
know, but regardless of whatever, I had those home values. You know, they was planted. I had a foundation. I was blessed. Some people in my neighborhood wasn't blessed. They stories are a little bit different from mine. Mine wasn't that far ahead, but when it came to the basic foundation, knowing God and seeing my parents work, man, I had that. You know, I didn't have parents that smoke crack like some people did. So, you know, I was blessed in that area. We might have had some days and doubts. The gas got turned off a few times in the winter time or whatever, but you know,
been there.
we made it. You know,
Right.
So
what? Okay, so after you got when you went to school, were you thinking about EMS, firefighting, or anything?
I wasn't thinking about anything at that point.
You was just living.
I was a daddy's girl. I didn't have to. My daddy had it, so for me, I wasn't really pushed to. I wasn't. As long as my daddy got her in his body, I got it. I never had to wear it.
So what drew you to that profession?
When my dad retired,
Good question.
and I watched his retirement checks come in, and by that time,
You knew what you
I
wanted.
was a mom. No, I still didn't know. I had to figure it out. And I'm like, those are his checks, not mine. Yeah, I can get what I want, but what am I going to do for these kids that's looking up to me?
Right.
That it was my kids, and I had to figure it out. And I still didn't know. You know, I went to school. I took account. I did all kind of stuff. I took classes. I got a ton of college credits, but I don't have a degree.
Right.
And so one day I was watching television. I seen an old school ambulance. For real, this is the truth. And I say, I want to do that.
Wow.
And I just went to school and did it.
Wow.
Whatever so for the listeners, the watchers, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, and
This here, right
She
here.
said that she had to focus. She had to figure it out. Fortunately, you had a blessed family that could take care of you till you could figure it out.
Right.
And that's a blessing.
That is,
Yeah.
that is. But at that time also, I was figuring it out as a single mom, a young mom. And it was still, I was working at McDonald's at this point. Page Dale. Page in Pennsylvania. Ken Nelson.
Whoa.
As most young kids did back in the day. I mean, those were our jobs
I was
back
a Dairy
then.
Queen guy.
Yeah,
I was a
fast
Dairy
food was the
Queen.
lick.
You know what I mean?
You know, but you know what? With my downfall, McDonald's, believe it or not, was one of the best first steps for me. It taught me a lot. It taught me responsibility.
Yeah.
It taught me how to communicate and how to talk to people.
Right.
I had a boss who made me care about, like, if you wasn't together on his
Right.
front line,
Uniform,
you had to
all
go
that.
home.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But see, that's how it was back then, and a lot of girls when I went to school with and guys, they worked at McDonald's, and they really, it really was a training for you to become an adult. Just like you said, if you wasn't dressed right on the front line, you got sent home. But it was all about caring then. You
I
know
think
what
White
I'm saying?
Castles was good for that
Yeah,
too back
White
then.
Castle
Yeah.
I'm gonna
was
give you
too.
one
Yeah.
better. My boss didn't care about you dyeing your hair, but it had to be a reflection of your skin tone. So you weren't coming in McDonald's today with
Pink hair,
lime
yeah.
green, all
Right.
of that, and was working his front line. He might allow you to work in the back.
Right.
He might, but
Right.
otherwise he sent you home
might
and
know
told you
who
come
that
back when
is
you dye
later
your
on.
hair.
So
I would hate.
You know that,
I would.
man.
I would. I would hate to go too far into the conversation because I know Dave had a lot of questions. But what I wanted to ask you is how many of your experiences as a first responder have you encountered patients or people that are in need, and you see almost a direct reflection of you, and how do you compartmentalize that and still be able to do your job and take the personal aspect out of it, and still you're going to remain a professional? And I know it's kind of like a packed question, but
Yeah, Jay.
I think I'm with you. Because you asked it, I probably can give you 3 different answers.
Okay.
I can get one answer is I see young ladies who look like me. I see them, they mad, they upset. You know, no knock on nobody. And understand that anything that I say is never derogatory towards anybody. I sell people for what they are and who they are. God created us all different.
I've watched you. I know you do it.
So, you know, I'm that one though. While in the back of my ambulance, I done hugged the sister and prayed for her. You know, I mean, some serious praying going on. I done gave my phone number to them. If you need somebody to talk to, I done had young ladies to tell me I never had anyone to hold a conversation. I don't have anyone. My mom never talked to me this way. Or I done seen them with the long eyelashes and it's one hanging off, one hanging on, or you done lost one in an accident. Now we're gonna take them both off because I'm gonna let you walk in here with dignity. As a matter of fact, let me fix your weave, you know, because I want them to not look at you, judge you, and not treat you accordingly. You understand?
Right.
So I'm gonna go that extra step because you my sister and I care about you, even if
Right.
you don't care.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
perfect.
deep.
That was perfect.
That was perfect.
So what's the
girl.
third
That was
answer?
perfect.
One of my second ones is just to be able to relate to us. One thing
Right.
that I've learned being in EMS is that it's not a lot of people that look like me.
Right.
I remember it was 3 black girls that came on at the same time. One was my best friend, and one was another young lady. 3 of us black girls came on at the same time, and everybody thought it was such a big deal. And we were like, "What's wrong with them?" You know,
Right.
we just happy to have a job, but it was really a big deal. And I figured it out later on in life.
It was the color.
Yes, and not from just that we were EMTs when we started.
Right.
So there's an EMT and then there's paramedics.
Paramedic.
The EMTs are our backup. We need them. They are very important. I will never discredit an EMT because we need their help at all times. They can't do the IVs. They can't give meds. They can't do the stuff. As a paramedic, we are able to do things that doctors do. We are basically working under a doctor's order.
Right.
So for us to come in as all three of us started off as EMTs and then the three of us left as paramedics was major. You know, it's not many of us who can pass that test and become paramedics, so it's major. And even today, it's not a lot of us in the field. It was tough for me to leave. I've been gone for about a year now, and it was a tough decision.
Right.
I stayed long because I felt like who's gonna help my people.
Sister Soul.
Do you think it's the test, or do you think that people just don't know how to get into the profession?
No, it's a test because we have groups out here who I basically work with retirees. My father's a retired firefighter. He's a retired fire captain, and they give away money. Give it away. They chose me to be the liaison person to help find people to give money to. We're going to pay for you to go to school to become an EMT. We actually help one young man. He's our first experiment to help him actually get his paramedic license, and that's anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000. We're giving it away, to help them come into this field. The problem is, some people, they don't take it serious. And I'm learning when you give people stuff, they don't really care.
Instead of earning it.
And some people, they just don't know about it. So we're trying to find the people. We're trying to find a way to bridge the gap.
So we could put that out there through here. You know what I'm saying? People was watching. If you know somebody that
it's money, free money out there.
that wants to do it, it's free money out here. And here's the young lady right here. At the end of the show, she'll give her information to where y'all can contact her if y'all need any type of assistance.
Because that's important, what you said. If more people will become EMTs and firefighters and police officers, we could take care of our own communities. That's what we're not doing. We complain about it, but we're not going to do those jobs, and that's the important part.
Right, as far as,
Because I know, y'all remember we had Captain Clay.
Yeah, Captain Clay,
Clay said when he first got out of the academy, St. Peter's was offering him a lucrative money.
Oh, yeah.
He said he took $10 an hour part-time to work Northwoods because he felt he could help his community. He felt he wanted to make a difference in his community. He's like, I don't make that now.
Yeah.
What up, Clay? And then here, look, now we're gonna jump around, see, because y'all listen to how she's talking. Y'all listen to what's
She's
going
really
on.
intelligent.
And this has been her demeanor since I met her. ROTC probably instilled a lot of good values in us too.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Me and Latanya talk about anybody from ROTC, like she was talking about the gig line. She was talking, so by the time you went to work, you already was ready. Like, that's why your
really
front line
quiet.
it was like, I'm ready to go to front line. What is you talking about?
So I got a question. How would you respond to a drug overdose?
What did you just come up
I mean,
with?
this is a profession, yo.
So the biggest thing is just doing a proper assessment, and I'm not going to automatically assume, but we are trained for the things to look for to know when a person is having an overdose. I can give you a prime example. We see it so much, and sometimes you almost condition, like when I pull up, you can look and say, it's probably going to be an overdose, especially in our downtown community.
Right.
And so my last probably major call from me, I don't know, this one was just God led. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details because I'm friends with this person's parents.
No names needed.
This call, it almost appeared when you initially looked like, oh, this could be another one of those. But God is real, and my spirit, and I'm the same on all calls. I'm going to assess all the way up high and then work my way down. I'm not going to start from the bottom and work my way up because then it's too late. So I'm always going to go high thinking the worst of anything and then work my way down. But it wasn't the case for this person. So we do get a lot of the overdose. The biggest thing to probably better make your question make sense, treat every call as if it's the worst call ever. Not just a drug overdose. It could be the chest pain. I stumped my toe. Treat it as the worst stumped toe ever and then work your way down. And a lot of times you get people so comfortable, so conditioned, that they don't do such things. That was why it was so hard for me to leave, because I was worried that no one was gonna care like I cared. You know, to be able to relate. I done been on scenes where shootings happen and the crowd is just literally feet behind us. And we know what it's like with the crowds. You know what it could be, who could be. You got to be careful. So you can't think you so up here. You got to be able to relate and talk to the people, because I was able to talk a whole scene. When I tell you, I done pronounced at least 3 people deceased on my way up to the final person, and they swore that their family member was still breathing. And I had to de-escalate the whole situation. You can't just talk to them crazy.
Right.
You got to reassure them and calm them, you know. And I took charge of that scene and got things under control because I could relate to the people. You got to be able to meet people where they stand.
Right. You just can't stick anybody in them type of situations.
And you can stick anybody in those situations, but they got to know how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
That's all. It don't matter what color you are, what sex you are, whatever. Just know how to talk to the people.
Right, basically.
So like a segue to that, real quick, like a segue to that point, in relation to you with your male peers, did you ever feel like at some point, or maybe throughout your career, did you ever feel like you have to prove yourself or work extra harder, or you have to prove yourself just because of a gender amongst your male peers, or even with your patients or the people that you're offering that critical emergent those services to? Have you ever felt like I have to work harder, or I have to prove myself more amongst those people?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I never felt like I ever had to compete against anyone but myself.
That's what made you good.
And I wanted to make sure that I was the best version of me. I always tried to. If I knew my weak areas, so wherever my areas was weak, those were the areas that I worked on to be the better me. You know, the sad part about it in that type of environment is feeling threatened against my own brothers. You know, because I'm so strong. I'm a strong female. You know, but I never disrespect. I'm still a lady. I'm a daddy's girl, and my dad taught me, you know, my role as a lady. So I'm never a woman that's gonna get up in a man's face or put my hands on a man, because I was taught by my daddy not to do those things, because I would put my dad in a situation if someone put their hands on me. So
listen, ladies.
Right.
Listen. What's that? Message.
But yeah, well, my thing is, like I said, her demeanor, her work ethic. How did the show come about? You know, that's what I want. Yeah, I'm getting. Hey, y'all, look, I'm gonna let her lead it too. She was on A&E. Was it Rescue 911? Live Rescue.
Get
like
out
I said,
here.
yeah. Hey, TV star, y'all. We got a TV star. Our first TV
In
star
the building.
But you know, her personality and her attitude is what got her on this show.
Yeah, I
you
can
know
see
what I'm
that.
saying?
That's what I was leading.
Because you have to do interviews for those shows, right?
No, or did they come to you?
I'm gonna tell you. So apparently, one of our captains was the person was a jump start on everything, and he came to me, and he said, "Hey, we doing this show, you know, and I'm picking some people to be on the show, and I want you to be representation." And I was like, "No, I don't know if I wanted to do that." And now at that time, I was married.
Okay.
And so I'm more of the extrovert. My ex-husband is more of an introvert. So for him, he's real private. So I'm a big community person. I always want to help the community. And I kind of was going back and forth on what it would do to my marriage, you know, if I were to do it. Yeah. So initially I was like, no. And so he came back the second time and asked me again. And I really thought about it and what I stand for. I had to think about what I stand for. And thought about having a larger scale to have a impact and showing young ladies who look like me what we can do in a positive light. And for that reason, I accepted the role the second time they came and asked me. Now, mind you, this is something going on amongst the fire department. It has nothing to do with A&E reaching out to me personally. You know, the fire department has things lined up. And so we didn't train for this. It ain't like we had rehearsal.
None of that, huh?
It was just live. It was just I'm not an actress. You
Oh
know?
wow.
Oh, dude.
I just had to go in and do
What
what
you
I
do, right.
You know,
She
and
be on the scene like, hey, where was you sitting at?
Yeah.
What you hit your head on? Okay, look, I need all y'all to come.
half
I
the
want y'all
time
to come
I
with me.
forgot that they was even with
Right,
us.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
tell.
Well, because you were so
You can
thorough and
tell.
so,
Hey,
Right.
listen.
doing your job. That's a good thing. Now.
Protocol.
Natural.
Muscle memory.
Being a natural.
Muscle memory.
You know, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't even watch the show at first because I was afraid what America would say because, you know, seeing a black young lady on a show to this caliber, I was afraid. You know, you had these trolls, and I was like,
Backlash. Yeah.
and I thought some of the trolls was gonna be some of the people that work beside me, so I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, so I didn't watch the show. I didn't know, and it took one of my coworkers to say, "Man, they really love you on the show." I was like, "They do."
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch it because I was just afraid of what they would say. So, next thing you know, became one of A&E Live Rescue's favorite, and without trying.
Word.
Big up.
Be your authentic self. Be your authentic self, and it always
Can you
works out.
describe a time that you did the right thing, even when you felt conflicted?
That very last call that I was telling you about, you know, you have protocols, and in my head, I knew I had to either follow protocol or do what I felt was the right thing to do. Do I stay here and give this person less chance to live, and the hospital is literally between 4 to 6 minutes away, or do I stay on scene for 20 minutes, what the protocols say, and give them a little lesser chance to, you know? I went against the protocol and got to the hospital. You know, I still worked and did everything en route, but I gave them a better chance.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
and,
that's what it's about.
you know, and so they family was able to have them for a few more days. You know,
Oh, cool.
had things probably stayed there a little longer, they wouldn't have had that chance.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, yeah.
So like circling back to your education at ROTC, how much of that foundation? Because I know it was a good foundation as far as discipline, integrity, and moral standards, etc. How much of that do you think impacted your ability to do a great job as a paramedic?
Man, I think a lot that discipline. We had that discipline, that structure, you know.
Shit,
And
I think
it-
when y'all was going, didn't they whoop y'all back then? Didn't y'all get whooping when y'all was in school? Man,
For real.
Hey, look, when we started, they had just struck that little line.
we say, "Who I made it? I made it."
Dude, y'all don't understand, dude. When we got in trouble, it wasn't your standard, y'all. You're going to sit down in a room for all day.
EMI.
No, you had a wooden rifle
Yeah.
that weighed, what, about 4 pounds?
I didn't.
3,
I
4
didn't
pounds?
get in
And you
trouble
had to
like that.
hold
You
it.
did.
That was y'all. What
Hey,
you
we gonna
call
cut that
it when you get in trouble for school? Would you?
I was just describing.
Detention. That was y'all detention.
Dude, we
Yeah.
used to run, and it
Oh
was
my
like in the
God.
military. Look, if it was raining outside,
Seriously.
they didn't care. If it was cold outside, they didn't care. Like, you literally, look, you running around a track, and around the track 3 times was 1 mile.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you running, and you doing this, and you got a person out there that's in your class
Making you do
making
it.
you
Making
do
you do
that. It wasn't a teacher. It
Yeah.
wasn't a principal. It was a guy that
Your
you
peer.
sat in class
Holding
with.
you accountable to do what you're supposed to do. Yeah,
You
that's
see what I mean?
That's a
And
lot.
those things, I mean, we had to get up every morning. Like, we did like the military. We had muster in the morning where all prisoners accounted for, sir. You were in your platoons.
Gotcha.
You had Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. You know, I probably got, and that was your class. You know what I'm saying? Delta class was the freshmen.
Wow.
Alpha class was the seniors. But we all met in the same gymnasium in the morning. So it wasn't like you were. That's why I said. I think that's why we tight knit, because every day
Y'all.
they brought us
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
There was never a separate time.
I wanted to be a Sumner Bulldog so bad.
Oh.
Family went
You
to
know what I'm
Sumner.
saying? Exactly.
It
That was our
stopped me. It
homeschool.
stopped
One time,
me.
my sister, I was out there at something homecoming this weekend. I see you, Velma.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Velma?
Yeah.
Sis? But yeah, we had. That's why, like I said, she came out in '92, and some of her class, you know, a lot of her classmates, and like I said, we all, because Laticha came out in '91.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
we all tight.
Okay.
You see what I mean? And
Okay.
it goes all the way back to, like, our reunions. It's people that graduated that I never even met
Mm-hmm.
that friend me and go, you family.
Yeah.
You know, I've never met you.
Yeah.
But you came through this, you family.
And that's what these schools are missing right now, man. They don't have that.
That was the difference in our school.
That's the difference. They don't
have
have that.
I
Right.
love it. I love it. Now, y'all, we gonna
Yeah.
we did the EMS thing where I took it all the way to TV. That was my whole thing. I just want to see a smile about TV thing. I went on TV. I saw my brother, Chris, Norman. So I see him on the video. She's on the picture right next to him, but I'm tripping out.
Focusing on her.
On you know, my bro. So I turn it on. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, look at Chris. I'm laughing. Look at Chris. Look. And then I look. I'm like,
I know her.
that's Laticha. And they in there joking and laughing, and then the camaraderie between those two. I'll show you the message. He sent you mad love, like, to my person. He was like, man, I love her. She showed me. And this is something, if y'all, a lot of y'all don't know, because Chris is he's quiet, he's straightforward, he's very family oriented. I mean, great dude. But he gave her mad praise. He was like, man, she showed me a lot of stuff. And it's a lot of black men that won't be receptive to a black woman, you know, giving them the game and
he
accepting
is definitely not the easy one to give that type of
but
and he came to me and he thanked me a lot.
Look at that. Look at that. You know what I mean?
I'm the same, you know, I love everybody the same. I'm pretty much a A to B person. Some people go from A to C to come back to B. I'm there.
Right.
Either you're gonna take it or you're not, you know.
Right.
We stubborn.
From what I see, I this is my first time meeting you, and from what I see, you have a beautiful spirit. You know.
That's my guy over
Really.
there. And then so look, we gonna speak through. Like I said, we could just talk about our accolades without even knowing our name.
So what are you
Keep
doing?
praising her. Keep praising her.
Now here we go.
What am I
So
doing now?
so
There you
hold
go.
on. Let me hit the
Praise
let me
Right.
Keep it
Let
going.
me hit the list. So you went into real estate. Then you went into your own home healthcare business. Or
I started my first business with my cousin, who's my partner. It'll be 10 years in March. that
Oh,
we
yeah.
run a business.
Okay.
I'm getting one started right now as we speak. I'm waiting on my
And then
I'm in the home health care.
I started my second location in South County. It'll be 2 years in March as well. I guess I'm busy in March.
Okay. How many clients do you have out there?
I'm doing good. I'm growing.
Good.
Right.
God's
Good.
good.
And you doing realty too? Come on now,
And
come on.
I'm a real estate agent, and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I just had this conversation with my ex-husband. He was like, "All I wanted you to just sell one house a month."
Uh-huh.
Now you done took
I was like, "What am I supposed to do? How do you say? You want me to? No, I can't help you. Catch me
Oh,
next month."
you doing way
You know?
more than one house. I mean, he wanted you. It was supposed to be a hobby.
But I'm telling you, it was something that I had never tried. Everything was trial and error for me in life.
Okay.
Whether it was
Right.
being a first responder, I didn't grow up knowing anything about it.
But see, that brings out the best because I have a little sister, that it was trial and error with her, and I'm telling you, when I say successful, man, she is 100, and I can relate to when you said trial and error. I know everything's beautiful for you because she did the same real estate. But now she's a broker. She got the home health. So many things under her belt, and she's constantly learning.
another powerful black woman.
But
with
this is
the
what I'm saying is, I see it. I know everything's beautiful for you, because your spirit, and I'm quite sure you don't have any problems, and you just go along. You just day by day, and it's just beautiful.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. I was at church today, and I was listening to my pastor, and he was just speaking on some things and talking about. And don't get me wrong, I have problems like everybody else.
Right.
To some level.
Yeah,
Whatever
we
our
all have
situation
problems.
may be.
Life be lifing.
And he talked about like some of the things that we go
Go
through and what
through,
we're feeling. And I was like, Lord, honestly, I really don't have any complaints. My
I
life
know.
is very peaceful.
That's what I see that. And I can feel it. It's,
But that's a
I
mind
just
state.
I feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when problems do come and occur, it just you handle it with stride, and it's water, like water rolling off a car. You know what I'm saying?
I don't idolize materialistic things. I don't idolize stuff. I don't people probably pay more attention to me or what I have or don't have more than I do. I
Right,
really don't.
right.
To be perfectly honest, I know God blessed me and gave me whatever I had because half of the stuff
You shouldn't have.
Right.
There you go.
And you think about what you've been through. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
And how you just walked through the fire and came out unscathed.
So
You
so
know
I
what
would
I'm
ask
saying?
you. I would ask you, real quick. I would ask you in relation to your clients that are first time borrowers. How much of that process, the first time borrowers, how much of it is education? Because individuals may know that they want to buy or purchase a house, but they don't necessarily know the process and the things that they need to go through as far as to show their credit worthiness or whatever. So
how to get started.
So how much of that process is the education, and then how difficult or what kind of obstacles do you encounter trying to
That's a
teach
big
that lender, that first time borrower, that hey, this is what needs to happen to get through the process?
The biggest thing is just being honest. And sometimes the truth is not what they want to hear, but you have to be, because I'm not going to waste their time or mine.
Yeah.
You know, so 100, I'm going to educate them out the door. Because you can come to me, if your credit, you might be right there. You might be at a 598, but you're not quite at that 620 that they want you to be at. You know, let's sit down. You know, I'm gonna counsel you. Let's sit down. Let's see where we are, what we have. We're gonna go over a plan. We're gonna create a plan, and I create a plan. I'm very passionate about helping
People.
first time everybody, but especially some people don't want to deal with the little people per se. They want the big deals.
Right.
I'm cool. Give me everybody.
And see that's what separates you from.
I think that everybody should own a piece of land.
Right.
So
Everybody.
I want to help everybody become homeowners, because back in my day, I felt like my grandmama house was the house, you know, and we all met up at grandmama house. It wasn't taught to us to own property, to own land. You know, it just wasn't, not in me. I don't know about you all, but it wasn't instilled in me to own a home. You know, my grandmama legit had the home. She bought a 2-family flat that we lived in.
Oh, okay.
You know, so just becoming a homeowner wasn't something that I ever thought to do.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think that it was reachable. Didn't think about talking about it until almost 40 years of age.
I just did a goofy. You buying a home, and then you get to closing, and then when they check you, remember people, they check your credit twice. Once when you get approved, and before you close. Because if you can't, oh my God, my debt to income ratio got fucked up in this 30 days, and then you can't get nothing. But you gotta remember that. That's just like what you was asking about, stuff that happens.
But that's something your real estate agent should tell you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, don't buy a package.
Don't buy nothing. Don't do nothing when you're trying to buy a house in between that time.
The same thing in the car. You know, I was in the
In the
car
car business, yeah.
Same thing, you know.
Yeah.
And they tell you, but the purchase, the amounts are different, of course.
Yeah.
You know, but you make
Same thing,
Big purchases. The two biggest purchases will be your
Car,
home
your
and
house.
your car.
Yep.
You know, so those are the things you want to be conscious of.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't raised. You know, we had the RTC, we had this, we had that, but nobody taught us finance.
Financial literacy.
Nobody taught us when you
Financial
get out of school and you get a job,
Yeah.
how to save $1.
Yeah.
They told you to go get a job. Just go get a
I'm
job.
still
That's
at
it.
this point, like, I'm still learning stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to put stuff in trust. We need to start learning about putting stuff in
Yes.
trust.
Yes.
You know, getting stuff out of our names
Names.
as much as possible,
Yes.
so things don't get caught up in court.
Yep.
And you know, you lose your stuff at litigation. So. You know, I'm still learning stuff so I can educate my people on some things.
Message.
So do any of your skill sets transition? Like any of the skill sets that you learn being a paramedic, do any of that transition into what you're doing now, or across the spectrum or whatever businesses you're in now? Like does
My
what you
own
learn?
Home health care.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think me having that experience earns the trust of a lot.
Clients.
Because I deal with some they're adults, they're in their own place, but they have mental health issues or whatever, and their parents, their families feel comfortable with me because of the knowledge that I have. So, you know, and I take it to heart. Like, I legit was in there crying one day because it gives me, I'm just thankful that God gave me the skill set that I have, that I can go in here and help these people, and knowing that they getting good care, and I'm not abusing them, they can't help themselves. And some people take advantage of people in those situations who can't speak for themselves, who can't move for themselves. So yeah, I'm just thanking God. I get them to go to work. People be thinking, oh yeah, you own. No, I go clean houses, do whatever I gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm not too good for that. These are my business. If I can get up and go work for somebody else's company
You do it for
and
yourself.
make all that money, I get up for me.
Yeah.
So
Right,
does it make
right.
it does
Yeah,
it make
and
it
that's the
easier?
way to look
So
at
does it make it easier for you to help those families that may not understand with your knowledge of how the medical systems work, navigating through the insurance company part, the insurance
Not
aspect
only
of it?
do it help me, but it helps me help my employees.
Okay.
Because I educate my people.
Okay.
Because I don't. If you wearing my uniform or a representation of me and my company, you better have it together. I've walked in on calls where some caregivers, I ask questions, basic questions about the client. How are you taking care of somebody and know nothing about them?
Exactly.
How are you taking care of them?
Yeah.
So for me, I educate my employees on. You better know these answers. No.
Sorry, real quick. Yeah. So, the Leo, is that Leo?
Lali.
See, that's why I ain't bring it up, because I was
Lali.
going sneaking at it, but forget it. This is how we do on our show. It's organic.
Okay.
With
okay.
a T.
Fluid.
With a
With
T.
fluid, as Stephen A.
Nah,
Smith
with a T.
says. Fluid.
He coined the phrase organic.
Okay,
We made our
okay.
own word up for our podcast.
Thank you, Bessie.
So is it say it one more time?
Lali.
Lali Youth Organization. Can you explain to the people what that is?
So, Lali is an organization that I started a couple years ago because now let me back up a little bit. My ex-husband wanted to do something with youth football with the boys or whatever, and that's kind of how I got started. And then he didn't do anything with it, but me, my heart and my passion is always about the kids, and I kind of took that and ran with it. And like every year, I gotta give away. Like I can't just take, and God bless me, and I don't give. Like I just give. Even before I was ever in business, when I didn't have it to give, I still gave.
Right.
So I took that organization, and it's kind of inactive right now, but on paper it's still active, but I haven't done anything lately because I just got so much stuff going on. And I think about it, it's still there.
Philanthropy is hard.
So it's
time.
But I
is it
use
a
that
non-for-profit?
to give away to kids.
So is it a non-for-profit?
It is.
All right, that's another question. See, my son has a non-for-profit which is called Action for Better, and he really don't know which way to go. And I was trying to see if you could probably
Action for Better.
have anything.
I love the title. And to me, having a title like that, what is his heart passionate to? What is it?
To help the youth. That's what he
And he
wants
just got to
do
figure
with
out
that.
his lane, T. That's what that is.
He just need help with the writing the grants
I
or
love to talk
proposals.
to him.
Yeah.
And always it's about connections.
talking
It's about
Right.
being together and helping each other. And if I don't have the answer, I know somebody.
Right.
knows the answer.
And see, and I know that from the vibe I get from you that you're a helpful person. You know what I mean? And, yeah.
I'll go ahead, Jay.
So what? So if you could just leave or give a piece of advice to our Hustle Different viewers, to maybe the young black sister, young white sister, whomever that's out there, they looking for a pathway into, because basically what you're doing is part of STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and medical. So what piece of advice, what critical piece of advice could you give them to encourage them to move forward with those thoughts that they may have of putting themselves in that kind of environment, but they may be a little unsure, or they may feel like they don't fit the bill, through your personal experience? Because I understand you said that you kind of just
walked into
it, but now with your experience and where you are now,
And the knowledge.
and understanding the pathway, what's one of the most critical pieces of advice that you can give them so that they can go ahead and move forward?
I got a couple. My number one, always trust God. Trust God. There's nothing. I'm nothing without Him.
Amen.
All it is. And this is no joke. It's through Him talking to me, talking to me. I can't say for everybody else, but talking to me. Secondly, create a plan. Create it. Write it down. And next thing, execute it. And just know that it's not a marathon. Take your time. I've never looked to the left or to the right to see what they're doing in their lanes. I stay focused on my lane because their journey is not mine. and their knowledge, we may not have the same connect, so we're not going to always get there at the same time. If you stay focused on what your agenda is, you're going to get there. So stay focused and just set realistic goals, and just knowing that each day accomplish one at a time. And when you do, scratch it off. That one's accomplished and move on to the next one until you get to the finish line. But don't quit. Don't quit.
Never give up.
Don't
Be
quit.
patient about who you getting your information from.
That was perfection.
Be careful who you getting your
Right,
information.
and you know,
I'm sorry,
some people are not going to give that information like you, and I believe that you're going to give the 100% truth about everything. You know what I mean?
Because she lived her truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
She literally, if y'all listen to this pod,
well,
y'all
she's a
heard her truth.
God-fearing
But you know what I'm just saying? You heard her truth in this hour that we've been sitting here.
Right.
She ran it down. She started off, look, she's from the hood. You know what I mean? And it's not, we from the hood.
Yeah.
I lived on the same street as a killer. I lived on the same street as a robber.
Yeah.
But I lived on the same street as a CEO.
That's right.
We all lived on the same street. And see, I'm blessed because where I grew up at, that I can articulate words and put sentences together. You know, some people look at, oh, I made this amount of money. No, I'm blessed that I'm able to sit here on a podcast with somebody I've been knowing for over 30 years that we haven't had conversation and talked at all. I put a message out that didn't have nothing to do with her, and she said, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Just to know that I was still on her mind for as her even thinking like, is he talking to me? You know what I mean? And you understand, those are the blessings I
The
look
biggest
at.
thing is I believed in what you were doing.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. You got to
That's
put
what I'm
God
talking
in there.
Oh, God is
That's what I'm
always
saying.
in there. And
There
if
you go.
anybody know me, like I said, I don't have questions. You know what I'm saying? I just look at some facts, and then I kind of just let people tell their story, tell their truth. You know what I mean?
Boy, y'all mamas would love y'all today.
Come on, man.
But I'll tell you,
I'm telling y'all, y'all mamas
one of the
proud
most
y'all
poignant things that you said was have a long-term goal, but make sure you have milestones so that when you accomplish those small things, you feel a great bit of energy to keep moving forward. Because some people think, hey, if I ain't went to the tippy top,
You ain't did nothing.
then I ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
But if you got up and you folded up a shoulder, you earned your clothes, you
Daily
got
gratification.
Man.
Daily gratification
There you
is
go.
what
There you
is
go.
what that is, and you have to
ready. That
set
endorphin
yourself.
release.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need it. It's
Yeah.
gonna keep giving you that drive.
Endorphins.
So
Well,
that
look,
was
y'all,
perfect.
our time running down.
Yeah, I know
We're
we-
packing in, but listen, before we go, we want to
Give all
thank
our information.
you, Madam,
Oh man.
Madam, as in RTZ, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh,
But say yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Laticha Green came out. She showed us love. For
Thank
all
you for
my
having me.
people, anybody, like you said, Jay, black, white, whoever across the board. If you got something out of this, we did our job.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody put down, you know, if a young lady or young man put down that bad thought and make a good thought because this woman came on here and said something, we did our job. You know, we speak it through God like she said. You know, we ain't trying to Bible thump in here, but it's the truth.
And take care of your people,
So,
man.
Miss
Take care of
Laticha,
your
if you
people.
want to give them your information before we go,
Especially your home health care. They don't know. It might be some people with autism, disabilities. Yeah, all that.
Give it to them.
So if you're looking to purchase a home, whether it's commercial or residential, you can reach me at my website at www.lgmyrealtor.com, www.lgmyrealtor.com. If you're looking for home health services, you can check me out on my website. You can apply if you're looking for a job or whether you have a family member that you need services for at www.elitehhc2.com. Thank you guys for having me.
And we're gonna put all that.
Right.
Those will be in the comments. like I said,
man.
everything she just mentioned will be in the comments. Thank you, Miss Lady.
Y'all welcome.
That's what I said. I wanted y'all to see that smile before you go. Y'all
There you
listen.
go.
She had that smile. She was. Well, you still about to say hi.
Hey, viewers, don't forget to
All
go
right,
to
y'all.
all of her different platforms, like, share,
And
and subscribe and follow. It is very important.
Thank you
Like, share, and
guys.
subscribe, and
I
follow.
appreciate
Hustle
it.
Different Podcast in the building. We out of here.
Out of here.
Out of here.
Love you, grandkids.
I gotta get your numbers so I can see it.
Yeah.
Photo ops.
Photo op time.
Excuse me. What's your name, sir?